Hi, I'm Tom Lydon, editor of ETF Trends, and I'm here with Brian Lockhart, who's Chief Investment Officer of Peak Capital Management. Brian, great seeing you.
Thank you, Tom. Good to be here.
You folks are one of the famous ETF strategy firms that we hear about on a regular basis. So again, tell us what ETF strategists are.
Well, ETF strategists, Tom, are, I think, firms that have learned how to use passive, low-cost products. So you've got ETFs, and they're tax efficient, they're low cost, they're transparent, but increasingly investors and advisors, asset allocators realize that a buy and hold strategy may not get their clients what they're looking for. And so an ETF strategist is able to take this passive product and use it in a tactical or a more dynamic way in order to provide a overlay of risk management.
Right, so we've been long only bonds, long only stocks for a long time. Hasn't hurt us because the market's been okay. It's
Correct.
not going to stay that way forever.
It is not. In fact, if you look at it, about 80% of the returns of the last 5 years can be directly attributed to rising PE ratios. And so it's multiple expansion that's caused this bull market, not an increasing in the fundamentals or earnings. In fact, we had an earnings recession while the market was hitting new highs. And so as central bank policy is evolving right now, that excess liquidity is being taken away. And I believe investors are going to find it much harder to have a passive buy and hold strategy and generate positive results.
Absolutely. So you have different portfolios. Some may handle US, some might handle global, fixed income. What really are you excited about and do you specialize in?
Well, this is what's interesting. We are of the opinion that we can't forecast or know what future returns are going to be. It's completely outside of our control. What is within our control, though, is the ability to manage risk or volatility. And so we approach the markets in a risk budgeting manner. So we allocate a specific risk budget to the different components of the portfolio, and then those components are allowed to increase or decrease in their cash allocation based on how much risk that holding is actually adding to the overall portfolio. And so we're able to just focus on what we can't control, which is risk and volatility, and then we let the markets do what the markets are going to do.
That's great. So with all this, you have a new partnership with John Malden. Tell us about it.
Well, we can't be more excited. We really believe that, one, the voice that John has had for decades in our industry is one that people highly respect. His readership is incredible. In fact, as Steve was saying, if you're not reading John Malden, Thoughts from the Front Line, you need to be, because the access that John has from political leaders to world leaders, from the best economic minds to what's happening from a geopolitical standpoint, John is keeping his readers informed of what's really happening in the world and what's happening behind the scenes that are influencing portfolio management. And so John's in a unique place and has a unique perspective in our industry to identify this is what I think is going to work going forward.
And with that, he's brought you and other select ETF strategists together to pool your great work and great ideas and give access to individual investors and advisors. Is that right?
It is. The strategies that John is making available, from the highest net worth investors down to regular everyday Main Street investors, he's bringing access of strategies that before were only available from an institutional standpoint. And whereas a lot of those strategies had very high levels of fees and a lack of transparency, John is actually turning the market on its head. He's doing something that I believe has never been done. He's introducing institutional strategies at low cost with lots of transparency. And I believe that the choices that John's made in bringing the four of us together, because of the way we each make decisions, we view the world a little bit differently. And so there's going to be seasons or periods where one will outperform the other, but we're a great complement to each other.
Absolutely. Sounds great, Brian. Congratulations, and it's great seeing you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good to see you.